Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you guys how to subdivide your surface. So if we go to 3D, we have this big surface, so subdividing the surface essentially is going to be dividing this into like concrete and asphalt and different types of surface materials. Because the whole thing isn't just going to be grass, but grass is always a good base to start with. Sometimes asphalt's a good base to start with, but we'll start with grass for this and add to that. So to do that, you're going to click on the surface in 3D because it's hard to click it in the site plan with the property line. And then what I would do is you can either go toggle over to site plan first, or you can click this in 3D. It doesn't matter. You just need the site selected, or sorry, the surface selected. And we are going to, underneath this tab, this green modify topo solid, we are going to click subdivide. Okay, so when we do that, it's going to put us kind of in this sketch mode. I'm going to go over to the site plan so that I can see the footprints more clearly. You could always go to 3D and toggle over to the top view. But essentially what you're going to do now is, so for example, I'm going to say, I want a concrete pad maybe over here for like parking or something. I'm just going to show you how to do this. And then you're going to apply it to your own project and kind of make your site look however you want. Or maybe I want to do a concrete pad, I don't know, right here. And then maybe this is like a garage or something. This is all just for practice. So I can either sketch it out with lines, say I want to go all the way to the edge here. And then, say I want it to line up with this. For example, this is a good example. I would just move this line out, hit escape once, and then start your line here. You can make them overlap, and then for now, and then just to keep everything right, and then hit escape a couple times, and I'm going to use this trim extend tool to trim those lines up to clean it up, because it needs a completely closed loop to create this footprint of the subsurface. Okay. And then if you're like, actually, I wanted to make that a little further out over here, maybe you can always click and drag those lines. Okay, you just need to make sure it's continuous. And then, so from here, before you hit the green check, you want to change the material. So over here in the subdivision properties, I'm going to click into by category. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, so I would search for concrete if you want this to be concrete. Concrete lightweight is usually a good concrete to use, so I would double click on that. So now you can see the material is set to concrete, and then you can hit the green check. So when you do that, you can see that it kind of changes texture. Okay, and then if I toggle over to the 3D view, you can see that section that we just created now became like a concrete pad. You can, let's see, the viewing on the, yeah, if you zoom in pretty close, you can tell it's concrete. You can see how it assigns a subdivided height. You can make this like 0 if you want. Oh, sorry. I guess you can't make it 0. You can do 0 feet, maybe like 2 inches. Okay, just kind of make it more into the surface, but essentially you just kind of want to create that look that there's this different material there. Another thing too you can do is, if you notice this, the grass kind of intersects the building at the top of the floor. So, you start to understand there's different properties going on. If that's something you don't want, see how the floor is kind of underneath. You can also select the entire surface and create like an offset of -6 inches or something, and it'll bop it down. Then you can see the floor structure. Technically, that's not really like accurate, so I would just leave this at 0. But it's just good to know you have options. Anything can always be offsetted and changed. Like even this can be, this is more of like a subdivided height. So say we really wanted that elevated, we could do like a 6-inch subdivided height, and it's like an elevated. Maybe you want to go in and put a curb on the sides. And so there's stuff like that. So I want you guys to make at least 3 different subdivided materials. So far we already have 2. We have grass and concrete. And so sometimes what's fun to do is like you can do like dirt, you can do ponds, you can do water. So for example, if we select our surface and subdivide it again real quick, you can come over here, and sometimes there's this one called spline. So spline can be helpful. If you just start clicking, you can kind of see how it creates just kind of, you know, like a more of a curved shape, and then you can drag these. This is a great tool for making like ponds, for example. That is what I'm going to make right now. Oops, that is not what I wanted to do. And then I'll just use this. Actually, it won't let me do that, so I might just need to make a line connecting those over there. I just need a connected footprint. So now I've created the footprint to a different subcategory. I'm going to go in here into this material. I'm going to search and see if they have water. They may. Sometimes, oh, there we go. Double click on that. Now I'm going to say, hey, this is the footprint to my pond. I'm going to hit check mark, and then you go and look in your 3D view, and now you've got like a water structure, which looks elevated, but there's a lot of cool ways you can adjust the actual surface so you can make that look like it goes in. If you're getting the hang of this, I would just continue to make subregions. Like for example, this doesn't look realistic at all, so think about maybe I need to extend the concrete around the house, and so on. Maybe you want to add like a gravel barrier over here. I would encourage you to kind of create your own materials. So, and you can also select anything, any subregion, come over here and adjust the material. And just like anything else, you can make it anything. So you can always do create new material. Maybe you want to make this gravel. Oh, so maybe gravel already exists. So there is already a gravel. Let's see what it looks like. Very exciting. Gravel. So you can do that. You can always adjust that, but say like that gravel one is when you don't like. Okay, you can, like I said in the wall video, you can always make things reference like a picture. So you really can make whatever you want. So, you know, jazz up your site, get a lot of different subregions, or sorry, subdivide it into a lot of different materials to something that looks realistic. And then you can move on to the next video.